Hey guys, it's Keisha Dixon, the Tapping Queen, and today's $100,000 minute on my personal page was to observe what your debt is saying about you. And this week, we're going to be going in deep when it comes to the type of money I call debt. Yay! And it's heavy. I know it's heavy. Well, let's talk about it. Let's unpack it so that we can clear it and become better money managers. Okay? All right. So on the surface, debt appears to be an issue that's created by circumstances, right? Or decisions that we've made, and sometimes even mistakes. And it might be challenging to connect how it's also a calling to look within. Let's face it. Most people don't look at their mounting bills, right? And say, okay, it's time to do some personal development work. Although I kind of did. When things got really, really insane and I was earning over 6 figures at my corporate job, and I was literally $2,000 in the red every single month in my checking account. I couldn't get a handle on it. I could not. And I was creating all of this drama in my own life around money, right? Bill collectors calling me. I was in pre-foreclosure and always in overdraft in my checking account, no savings to speak of, loans up to my eyeballs, credit score like way down. And yet I was giving people money. All of that was happening around me, and I was literally paying other people's rent, giving people money. I paid for two people's vacation while all this was happening. So being a personal development junkie at the time, I knew something was going on. But that being said, most people don't look at their bills, their debt, and say, oh gosh, it's time to do some personal development work. But financial expert Suze Orman says the only way you'll ever permanently take control of your financial life is to dig deep and fix the root of the problem. And she is right. She's right. And no matter how you got into debt, whether it was like I did by giving all of my money away, or it's because of a bankruptcy or student loans, or perhaps your mortgage went upside down, or there was a loss in a job or some other kind of financial trauma, no matter how you got into debt, getting to the root of the problem means examining the inner belief system that got you there. And that requires doing the inner work. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that today. We're going to do that this week. Because once you get your eyes on exactly why your money is showing up the way it is, and it's so important that we do that, because once you have that crystal clear clarity, you're going to have new ways. You're going to find new ways to up level, new ways to transform your debt, and new ways to become better money managers. Hi, Shari. How are you? It's so good to see you here. I'm surprised I can even see your name on here. Usually on BeLive I can't, but I'm glad you're here. So this week, I'm going to ask you to get real specific and really real and transparent with yourself, even regarding specific amounts of debt, right? But just know, you never have to tell me what those amounts are. It's personal to you. The important thing is that you get real with yourself, right? Real with yourself. That's what we're doing right now. Well, that's what we're doing this week. We're going to stop gaslighting ourselves, and we're going to go there. And we're also not going to punish ourselves, okay? In fact, at the end of this live, you're going to have some relief. Trust me on that. So when it comes to the 6 different types of money, this week we're focusing on debt, you'll notice that each type of money has 3 internal to you aspects to it. There's the program beliefs, or the habitual self-talk, that thing that you say over and over. It also will have a particular emotion or emotions that just run through your nervous system. And in some instances, there may even be a connected trauma, like a failed business, a bankruptcy, loss of a job, loss of an income, or some other catastrophe or traumatic event, okay? Now, these 3 aspects come up every single time you think about any of these 6 types of money. And when it comes to debt, I'm going to suggest If you're in debt, you're thinking about it all the time, all the time. And that's what I call a mind-body-money connection. And for a mind-body-money issue, a mind-body-money connection issue, getting crystal clear on what your automatic thoughts are, the emotions that run through your nervous system, and the connected traumas are for you personally, that mind-body-money connection, we can use tapping, right? Which is a mind-body clearing technique to really clear what's going on in a laser-targeted and measurable way. And that's what we're going to do. So first, let's get clear on where you are today. So take a piece of paper, and I hope I'm not sweating. I'm in Florida, and I'm so hot right now. I'm so hot. I take a piece of paper and write down the amount of your debt. All right. And if you don't know how much debt you're in because you're not answering those calls, you're not opening the mail, just take a guess. And debt's funny because there are, some people believe that there are such things as good debt. I'm one of those people. I believe that. But it really is personal to you. So an example of what some believe to be, or two examples of what some believe to be a good debt would be your mortgage, right? Some people look at it as, oh, you know what, this is where I live, and it's an investment, and it doesn't trigger me that much, right? So you don't have to, if your mortgage is not triggering you, then you don't have to include that in your debt amount. Now, on the other hand, if your mortgage or your rent is triggering you, if in your mortgage you are upside down, or you're up every single night or a few times a month thinking about how am I going to make this mortgage payment, include that because it's triggering you, right? Okay. Another example would be student loans. Some people are not triggered by their student loans at all, while other people have had to defer their student loans. They may not be working in the industry that they thought they would be in when they went to school, and it's in the back of their mind constantly, like this thing is looming over my head like a dark cloud. Your student loans trigger you that way, put it in there, okay? All right, so once you have that number, I want you to just take a deep breath, right? And take a look at that number and really observe it. And just notice, what are the two main feelings that come up when you look at that number? You got to grab it quick because they're going to come up immediately. What are the two main feelings? For me, when I do this exercise, sometimes the feelings are, I have no breathing room. Oh, I've done it again. But what are the two main feelings for you? What are the emotions? Okay, so the emotions, I just gave you two thoughts. The emotions that I feel is upset, anxious, afraid, scared. Right? And just notice what those feelings are for you. Maybe sadness. And where in your body are you feeling this? Some people feel it immediately in their stomach, and it feels like a sinking feeling. Other people right now, I'm feeling it a little like in my neck area, just a little bit of tension. My jaw is clenching up a bit. Just notice where it is for you. Some people, it's in their chest. It's the mind-body connection. It's happening automatically every time you think about debt. What is the emotion saying? What is it saying? For me, this feeling in my jaw is saying, I cannot believe I'm here again. How could this happen? What's it saying for you? I know this is heavy. There is relief at the end, I promise. Write down or notice, what is the main thing you say in your head whenever you look at that number, or when you're looking at that number right now? It's the main thing. I'm unsafe. I have to be so careful. I'm afraid. I've done it again. What's the main thing for you? The main thought that comes up in your head when you look at the debt. We're getting really crystal clear on what these emotions and these thoughts are when you think about your debt. And now I'm going to ask a question. You don't have to give it too much thought, just whatever comes up. Just thinking about your debt, remind you, or thinking about the amount of your debt, remind you of a time or a situation in the past where there was a battle or a betrayal, or a time in your life where you never forgave yourself or someone else. And if it brings up anything like that for you, just write that down. Battle, betrayal, time in your life where you never forgave yourself or somebody else. What immediately pops up into my head is my first marriage and divorce. And it was traumatic. Not the divorce so much, but the marriage was very traumatic, and I financed everything. And I wasn't boundaried. I didn't have strong boundaries, and I had attracted someone who had a very strong will, and it became a very dysfunctional, abusive relationship. That's what pops up in my head when I think about debt. What pops up for you? That, whatever it is a connected trauma. And it may not make sense that it's connected to your debt, but it's exactly what your subconscious just connected to your debt. So we're connecting some dots here. And write whatever that is down, because we're going to want to clear that this week. Okay. And the last part, and I know this can be heavy, but just fill in the blank. I'm going to ask a question. Looking at this number, this debt number, this means I am what? Fill in the blank. And trust me, when I do this with my clients and when I do it with myself, I hear some pretty negative things, some really dark things. And we're not going to judge it, just going to notice it. This debt number means I am never going to get ahead. I'm a loser. I can't breathe. I'm an idiot. I'm a failure. Those are some of the things that I hear. What are you hearing? Right? And just notice what we just wrote down. None of these are like happy places. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel joyous. It doesn't feel light. When your thoughts and your emotions and there's a connected trauma and all of that is just kind of running automatically underneath the hood, when you feel this way, is it any wonder you're not spending more time managing your money? Who wants to feel this way? It's more than slightly uncomfortable. It's insufferable. And yet that's how we're feeling every single time we think about debt or even think about managing our money. I'm not saying that so you can feel victimized by that statement. It's simply so that you can have a little more compassion, right? A little more empathy towards yourself. Because I suspect if you're like most people, you've been beating yourself up about your debt, right? And the beating yourself up about how you're feeling is part of this vicious cycle. So what we're going to do is, now that we have clarity on this, and now that we've leaned into these thoughts, the emotions, the feelings, the trauma behind your debt, we're about to get some relief, okay? So not just momentary relief, I should say that. I'm going to show you how to use this tapping, and this tapping script particularly, for long-lasting breakthroughs and relief when it comes to debt. And it's from that cleared space, right? That relief, that you're able to get your bearings and clearly map out a strategy to become a better money manager. And the first step is clearing. So just measure on a scale of 1 to 10 how triggered you're feeling right now, with 10 being I'm breaking out in hives. You know, it's interesting because it's a little warm in my house, but I'm literally breaking out with beads of sweat. And I don't perspire a lot. So I'm feeling it too. You're not alone. Not alone. Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being I'm sweating, I'm breaking out in hives, I'm so triggered, whatever the number is for you, write that number down, write that measurement down, and we're going to start tapping. Here comes the relief. I'm going to be tapping on my collarbone so I don't get distracted. You can tap through any of the tapping points or find one tapping point that you really like. Okay. The truth is, every time I think about money, specifically my debt, my nervous system is wired to react with sadness and disappointment and condemnation. And I really feel it. Switching up, but I don't want to feel that. It's uncomfortable. No wonder I don't want to focus on my finances or managing my money. My nervous system is running with these feelings. Feelings of embarrassment and beating myself up and dread. Over and over, I feel unsupported. Like I can't breathe. I feel frustrated and I feel the frustration. And I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it in my throat, my shoulders, my stomach, my neck, my head, my lower back, my heart, my whole body. All these awful feelings of dread, anger, being poor, all these awful feelings of struggle, being unsupported. And I start to wonder, how long have I felt this way towards money? How long have I had this reaction to money? And I start thinking thoughts that feel really true. Thoughts like, I'm unsupported. It's always a struggle for me. This is how it is. I have to live from hand to mouth. Why always me? Thoughts like I failed. And I'm a loser. And if anyone ever found out, and I think them over and over like a recorder. And those thoughts and those words, they hurt. And they've always seemed true. And always seem to get proved as true over and over. So I say to myself again and again, I'm struggling. I can barely survive. And I give, and I give, and I give. And I'm not supported. When will it be my turn to be supported? When will I be supported back? When do I get to win? I say to myself, what can I do to get out of this? Over and over, I say to myself, how can I get out of this? And when I play those thoughts in my head, I feel more stressed, more frustrated, and more depressed. It's a vicious cycle. No wonder I'm not spending more time setting goals to manage my money. I totally honor my nervous system is wired to react this way. I totally honor my thoughts are just programmed to run this way. And it's been happening without my knowledge or my choice. And without my consent. And I'm open to changing this. I'm open to observing and questioning this. Every single time I hear it come up and feel it come up. I'm open to rewiring my nervous system for my highest good. I'm open to rewiring my habitual thinking for my highest good. I'm open to a whole new way of thinking and feeling about my money management and my wealth. I'm open to having a new choice in how much I can earn, how much I can create, how much I can manage, and how much I can save. Because when I shift, everything shifts. The whole universe turns on its axis to support my shifting. And I am clearing out the old way. That old way I don't want. And I'm choosing a new way. My way. I said it. My way. I'm releasing everyone else's way. And I'm choosing my way. I'm releasing that old way. And I'm picking up my way. And my way is this new empowered yes about money. I'm now saying yes, or yes to receiving more. Yes to money. Yes to wealth. Yes to managing and creating more. Yes to asking and receiving more. Yes to the best ideas, inspirations, strategies, and actions for wealth management and my money management for my highest good. And just take a deep breath. And check in with yourself. Measure how triggered you're still feeling on a scale of 1 to 10. If you were at a 10 before, where are you now? It should have gone down. And keep doing this tapping. I'd love for you to do this tapping every single day, at least for the next 7 days. And report in what happens and how much lighter you're feeling. And if you're still feeling triggered, that's okay. Just go back and tap. Go back and tap. The way tapping works is it is going to bring down that stress response, right? The fight, flight, or freeze response. And as you're tapping, some of the emotions that you were initially feeling may start morphing and shifting into something else. Just write that down too. Everything that comes up is tappable. I'm Keisha Dixon, the Tapping Queen. Tomorrow we're going to continue our discussion on debt, and I will be coming in live with another tapping script, and that is going to be on integrity. Okay? Have a great day. And by integrity, I already know you have it. And we're going to be anchoring that in. Have a great day, everyone.